Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is Aisha Yusuf from Catch Up with Aisha and welcome to another episode of Catch Up with Aisha, the UAE series. I always talk about and I always believe it's great to hear the vision of great leaders to make a better country, a better future of a country. So today with me is one of the great leaders of UAE. He is Ghanim Alfalasi. He is the chairman of Falak Tayyab Platinum. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum. كيف الحال?
Wa alaikum assalam.
Thank you for coming and doing this interview with me. I'm happy to participate and share some of the knowledge that we have in Dubai and UAE to our brothers and sisters in Pakistan.
Thank you so much for making time. It really means a lot. Or when I was speaking to him behind the camera, his Urdu is so saaf, mashallah. He was
Yeah.
speaking some words in Urdu. So I would really encourage and appreciate that if we talk in Urdu as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
अगर सकता बनाएगा.
बिल्कुल.
I'm trying.
Yeah,
I will
बिल्कुल,
try.
बिल्कुल.
Yeah.
Okay, Ghanim, so first of all, I would like to ask you that when we talk about Dubai, when we talk about UAE, it's always thinking and talking about future. We are in present, but we talk about future because we can see how innovations take place. So, what you want to say about that?
Well, even we are talking, whenever we were talking about the past, future was included.
Yes.
Based on our past leadership who made the country and the city, they always had that kind of vision. So it's really the successors took over the same thing. So from the ground and bottom up, we were always talking about the future. So if you can imagine the place that we are in here, if you go back 50 years, it's all sand dunes, nothing more, nothing less. And I would say until 98, the most prestigious area that you see in front of you, Burj Khalifa, is facing us here. This was our military camp.
Okay.
That's where I used to work. I started my career in this most prestigious location, but it was a military camp.
Yeah.
So the vision was how to transform these areas into a very much futuristic area with the benefit for everybody. Now, since we are a global city, it's not a benefit only for the citizen of Dubai, but even the residents of Dubai, which is we're talking about UAE having more than 200 nationalities. So it was never made for only a group of people. It was made for the whole world. So that's why you can see, and in one small organization, you'll have around 30 nationalities. Yeah.
Absolutely. When I came here, so one thing that amazed me is people from all over the world come here to work for their future and to work for the future of the country because the country gives them so many opportunities to grow. So, what is your vision?
Well, it's still in the making, and my vision really how much I can capitalize on the intellectual of all those people who are coming here. Now, we have example, Aisha, you are here, you are focused in one area. मगर इतना काम नहीं है, okay? तुम्हारा brain बहुत बड़ा है. So we need to capture on that intellectual. So if you live with us here for 10 years and you only work in one specific job, it's a loss for me before yours because I will need to know what else as an intellect you have in your brain. So I need to capture that, maximize the benefit. Imagine I have all these brains here. We call them the neurons. Okay. This is a real project that I'm working on. Is really how to capture all the neurons in the country, transform it into synapses that will result into a legacy. So that's the bigger picture of what my vision to be and how to maximize the everybody here as an intellectual capital.
Correct, to utilizing their potentials to the fullest.
Maximize the potential for the benefit for themselves and also for the country that they are in now. So you hinted something, or we had a conversation about the hygiene of the city and how clean it was. Now, the same people who are dirtying other countries, they don't do this here. So it's a behavior that's been created by the pressure of the rest. So if that's available, that kind of proactivity can be spread all over, then we will really try to avoid or keeping the city always clean without even dirtying it. So that's the level of behavior that we need, and we can spread it all over.
Exactly. And I have observed one thing. It is not just because of the discipline of the country, because people love the country so much. They don't want to break the rules, they don't want to make it dirty.
Well, as they see, it's what they do. You do it for the others. If it's comfort you, that means it will comfort the others also. So, the story is always, I came here for 1 year, but I stuck for 30 years. I hear it very often. If you ask so many people here, so my plan was 2 years in Dubai, then I will go somewhere else.
Yes.
But even somebody who really achieved 2 years left, then he said, I could not live anymore somewhere else. So they came back
Yes.
to Dubai again, because it is very much, created for that kind of integration of a community.
Yes.
And that's the sense of belonging that you see it in
Sense of
everybody.
belonging. Right.
Yes.
Okay, Ghanim, so the AI adoption has integrated and gaining the momentum so much these days. Do you think that humans are replaceable by AI?
Well, you jumped very much fast forward.
To
Based
the
on my
another.
background, I am a technology guy. I always
Yeah.
looked into technology,
Yes.
and I started my career since 1990, really in the implementation, as I said, in the military. And we never had the thought that we will replace people,
Yes.
because technology brought more expertise, more specialized people. And likewise, also the AI as a transformation technology coming now. We had other technology came in the past also, but you will find a new specialization arising also. So forecasting that in 5 years, 85% of jobs is not yet created.
Yes.
So that will lead for more, let's say, focused area for our academia and for our education sector to really develop that kind of skill set that we require. So AI is not a threat. AI will give the comfort for people, just like the invention of cars, invention of computers, and other means of inventions. Yet we need to simulate the pros and cons of AI. We have the technology to enable us to fast forward and rewind everything and correct it. So to me, I think AI is a blessing. Yes. And it will really lead to a lot of engagement. So let's give an example here. Sure. If all your day-to-day job been taken care of your, I mean, let's say the dirty work has been taken care by your AI. Okay. Yes. That means you will leverage your time doing something else. Yes. What that something else will be more, I'm sure that it will be more toward the community, toward the engagement with the family, the social life, which we are missing now because of our commitment to our jobs and responsibility. So let's take that part, that AI is already, you know, yeah. So, I mean, uh, transactional wise, okay, you need to go for your renewals, accessing your bank account, doing all this, all this can be done by your AI. Okay, so you will not need to renew your visa, your license, all this done automatically, proactively. So your status will be always up to date without worrying about, all these nitty gritty things. So for you, you'll have to leverage that time to something else. Yes. Okay. Also, it's very important that how you effectively you use that tool. People should know that you do not have to misuse a tool. If some tool is being given to you for automation, if you use it effectively, it will give you a lot of benefits. Well, let's go back to the knife. Okay. How you hold it with a, wow. Okay, holding your knife. That's easy, applicable to everything. Okay. When we thought the computer is also pros and cons, anything that comes, cars, is how you misuse it and how you use it. So where to hold the knife. Okay. Absolutely. So for me, AI is the tools. Yeah, there is always the
Pros and the cons, the
pros
good
and
side
cons
and
and the
the
good
bad.
people and the bad people.
Yes.
So
True.
you cannot always say we say cloning is a good thing, but if it came by the hand of the other people will use it in a wrong way,
Absolutely.
they will clone. Now robotics is also a good thing, but also we
Yeah.
feel the threat of that. Now, I'm not with the theory of scaring people. Okay, I'm always with the comforting the people and saying the future is bright
Yeah.
because we maximize the use of technology, and there is always good cops. They're sitting there trying to govern the whole thing.
Yes.
So with AI coming, there will be a human governance around it. Always. The moment that we see the differentiation happen, there is an interference will happen and takeover will come back.
Right.
Okay, so it's just like sitting on a horse and that horse going in the right direction, doing everything. But once that horse, moved
Exactly.
away from the direction, you can still pull, you know.
Right, I get it. So, Ghanim, mashallah, you had such a broad vision, and with the right intentions, I think if you have the right intention, Allah helps you,
Yes.
and you get to the right place, right? Who inspires you?
Well, that's very challenging because in every area I always get inspired, whether by the leaders or by my father, my mother, past, may rahmatullah alayhim, both of them. And the inspiration comes, maybe you will touch base on my art skills also a little bit, where you'll see how much I'm very much focused on community. So even my technology, my uh, focus on that area, but I am a community person and I like to develop communities and everything essential around that. So that's my, where did I get this one? From the past leaders of this country plus my parents. So, and for sure we refer all this to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is always our our star that we take the light from, inshallah.
Absolutely. And we look up to him, the teachings of him. I think if we follow that, we will be something, we will be a much better person if we
Yes.
just follow his teachings.
And we see the current leaders that we have taken from the past leaders, it's really aligned to what we are saying here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, and I'll give a story of our past leader, the father of this country. He said with all the businessmen around, and he said, okay, you have 10 billion dirham.
Right.
Okay. And you're in the 60s.
Right.
Okay. How much you need to survive the remaining of your life? 1 billion, 2 billion?
Yeah.
What will happen to the rest of the money?
True.
Okay, you will leave it for your inheritor. That's it.
Absolutely.
But if you don't give it to your neighbor, you don't give it to your people around, to the needed people in the world, okay, then that will come for you as a deed in the future, in the day after.
And even this is in Islam.
Yes.
आप जितना बांटोगे
हाँ,
उतना
उसे
ज्यादा
वापस
आएगा.
आएगा.
हाँ.
सच.
तो ये तो वही अगेन टीचिंग है ना कि हजरत मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि
सलाम.
वसल्लम की भी
Yeah.
कि जितना दोगे अल्लाह कहता है जितना दोगे तुम्हें मैं उससे बढ़ के नवाजूंगा.
Exactly. And this is a story of when Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam asked his wife, Aisha, after slaughtering a sheep, and then she gave two-thirds
Yes.
for the
Yes,
poor
yes.
people, and she kept one-third. And she said, uh, and he asked her about. She said, uh, we have the one-third, and we
And
gave
we
up the
give.
third. He said, wrong. You gave the one for you to eat, but you saved the two for akhirah. So your deeds are staying from there, not from here. Here you eat it and finish.
Definitely.
But the others is that. So again, the leadership always tell us to be very much open, generous, accepting other cultures, and the main thing is, if you behave in this country, you can survive.
Yes.
Behave of the acceptance of the inclusion that's created.
Right.
We don't want such people who want to say, okay, we are this or that. We are one.
We are
And
one.
the idea of the intellectual capital that I told you about the neurons, we want to just give a sample of to the world how a small city or country having these 200 nationality living in peace and harmony, where other countries they have one nationality, one passport, and they kill each other. So the coexistence is possible by human if the leadership put the right really governance around it, and the people share the same dream and same vision, then you will not have any kind of trouble or war or anything. So
Absolutely.
the recipe here can be used and multiplied somewhere else.
Right, absolutely. And that's such a beautiful thought that you shared, that a leader, along with being visionary, he should be generous. And that is how he will empower his people. So, in
Yes.
your leadership, I would like to know that how do you empower your people?
Well, I don't like micromanagement.
Right.
It's really a pain for me, and I think it's a waste of time for seeing things in the right way. I have to be always on trying to be on the summit, seeing things and pass the information to my subordinate people who will be doing the job for me.
Yes.
So otherwise, why I hire them to do that? Okay, if I will do their job,
Yes.
then I don't need
What's
them.
the use?
Yeah,
Yes.
so I try to set the vision, try to really align the campus, and make sure I do the right communication with them. So with that one, I see the result.
Right.
So, and then when the result is not showing, that means I will blame myself first because I did not point to the real direction. And then we say, okay, let's do it again by correcting the guidance that we need. So me, my partners, my managers should always set the guidance to their employees also.
Absolutely, absolutely. How do you manage and balance your work-life balance? It's
Okay.
very fast paced. Dubai is very fast paced.
Uh,
So what do you do when you have to maintain work-life balance?
I don't believe in work-life balance.
Okay.
I believe in life balance. Okay,
Okay.
so I took it out. One time I was running Dubai Silicon Oasis HR department. I renamed it to be People Happiness Department.
Wow.
So in that we were focusing on life balance,
Right.
and we did assess every employee there on the wheel of life. If you are familiar with the tools, and we set up in each unit what is required as a happiness really enrichment for them. So again, for me as a life balance, I look at it from a different area, and we say what is my priority in life. So me myself first of all, or before that it will be God, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, myself, my family, my work, and then will be the rest, which is the work, the world, the community, and everything. So if I put my priority in order every day, then I will be in a good hand. So waking up every morning for prayers and keeping contact with Allah.
Charges your soul.
Exactly. And that's really building always the alignment. Sometimes you get drifted by something, but when you come back, and also you have to focus on yourself before your family. Some people have this sequence wrong. They say, no, family first.
Yes.
And I always say, no, you are first. And take this example of you are in an airplane and something, God forbid, happen. The oxygen mask will come.
Yes.
You will take it for you first or your child. They ask you to put it first, then you have all the control to do it for others. So the similar thing, if you are not healthy and if you're not taking care of yourself mentally and physically, you will not be able to run a family. You will not be able to run your job. And just put your priority in the right order.
So when life gives you a lot of challenges, how do you deal with the challenges in life?
To me, is very important question, and this is I learned it also in a different way. And I have a drawing using my own font.
Okay.
Okay.
I have seen it. It's beautiful.
Yeah, the one I have here about this question is because there is one word in Arabic. Okay, mihna mean trouble.
Okay, mahna means trouble.
Okay,
Right.
ma ha na ha mihna. Okay, fine. And one step you make is you will change the mihna into minha, which is reward.
Oh, mahna and minha.
Yes, noon. This is mihna.
Yeah.
You move the noon first,
Okay.
so it become minha. Okay,
Right.
that's my drawing here I have, and it shows this. So by saying how to move the noon, okay, the na, is to ask yourself a question. Is this touching my faith? If you said this is touching my, this is ibtila. Okay, the ibtila is mean you've been really disrupted with your beliefs, your your aqidah, your deen, and that's really the problems that you face. The rest is minha. Okay, why? Because if you stress me for doing a job, I will learn how to be stressed, and that enable me to do it again and again in a good way. Or if I go through some kind of challenges in dunya, I learned how to overcome it. So I will be expert in that. So it is the idea how to convert from a problem to a reward by seeing what's in it for me. Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala chose me to do this one. So I build this kind of realization to any challenges that come to me. And from there I convert it.
Taqwa is extremely important. To have faith that if something is happening, so Allah has chosen me for this, and there is a reason behind it.
Always, always. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. So Allah will never put you in a stress experimentation or ibtila, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He knows that you can overcome it. So you read the last ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah, and that ayah will tell you always that I will not over stress you. Okay? That by saying, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. And even in Alam Nashra, Allah is telling you that yes, बेशक मुश्किल के साथ आसानी है. Yeah. If I am giving you the stress or the mushkil, so I am there with you. So has ever this happened with you that there is a time that you feel that you wanted to give up, but then you took a leap of faith in Allah and you just started all over again? Has it ever happened with you? Well, yes. Again, maneuvering is okay. Tactic changing is okay. Sometimes I have a bigger picture, but I need to delay it a little bit for the sake of this, just the growing things. Let's say I am not in the government services. That's not my bread and butter. But this came to me, and this, in order to enable me to be able to do the other things, I took over. So I built this kind of business here, and from there I can really move on to achieve my dreams and all that. So we started with only government service here. Then we added the FTP Academy, which is also my passion. Okay, and business center and facility management. So out of one, we made four, and we are also growing more and more in that thing. So there is a strategy, or that's a vision or a twinkle star that you keep there as a guidance, but you always have to be able to be agile and maneuver. Don't feel disappointed if not achieving this today. As we say, لعله خير. Allah, God wants you to be waiting for that moment. So sometimes you have a good ambition for something, but 10 years ago it didn't go, but now is the time for it. And you always say, oh, I thought of it there. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made you prepared for this now. I have firm belief on what you just said, that actually He prepares you first for the fight, then you fight, and then He gives you the reward. Exactly. And I thought our conversation will be all about AI, but subhanAllah, we're going about life. That's a very. Yes, I really like, and I'm really enjoying it, because because I think this is very important, and it is lacking in the society, in the cultures, that we often talk about the materialistic things that are happening, but we forget the Islamic values that are so important to be incorporated. I will, again, I mean, from an Islamic point of view, yes, I want to be more generic. Yes. Okay. It's for humanity purpose. Yes. As we are here living, we are different ethnicities, different culture, different religion. So that's why Dubai or UAE giving that kind of chemistry of living. So again, if we go back to humanity, you'll see that Islam is there. Yes. So just be a human. Yes. We're not saying more than that. We're not saying, and we will not interfere with your philosophy, your thoughts, and you're not interfering with us. But the moment you live in this environment, you will feel like you are Muslim without knowing, based on your human engagement, based on what your behavior and all this. So is really walking the talk than really going forcing the talk. Right. And we don't do any da'wah, or we do go there, you have to become, or that. No, they come to us and said, we would love to read your book. Yes, absolutely. Acha,
Ghanim, I would like to know about some of the projects that you are just happening. Bataya mujhe abhi. You told me about some of the projects for the ecosystem. You told me for
Yeah.
the community you are working. I want you to elaborate it a bit that new people who are coming in UAE looking for the job opportunities. So I know it's a hub. We can get a lot of jobs here. And what is the project that you are working on?
Well, first of all, I wear multiple hats. So, and I have a TEDx talk talking about that kind of different people.
Okay.
So I am an employee,
Right.
okay, and I also am an entrepreneur. I am,
Mashallah.
and the last but not least, I'm a papa. Okay.
So sweet.
So in the work environment for an employee, or I call it the Mumu tribe. You can refer to my video later on when you talk about the city of tribes. As a YouTube, you can find it as a
Right.
TEDx talk. So the Mumu tribe is the employee tribe, okay, and the entrepreneur tribe and the tower builder tribe. So there are three tribes. The tower builders are the tycoon, the big guys. The entrepreneurs, the small businesses that's created. And Mumu means, in Arabic, local employee. Okay, مواطن موظف. Okay, مگر in English, it go back to the song, All McDonald has a farm. Yes. Yeah, Mumu here and a Mumu there, which also hint that whenever you are an employee, you don't have your discipline in your hand. Okay, it's with your boss and his boss and his boss. So sometimes you see the light, but or the end of the tunnel. Yes. But your boss says, no, no, ye choro, oh jagadao, ciao. So, yeah, and you say, this is the right thing. Or sometimes you build something and then your boss said, ये नहीं मनता अभी, okay, ये cancel करो, उधर जाओ. So you say, but I spent 3 years of my life growing this, and the impact, you're about to harvest the result of it, okay, and then these things happen and take you away. That place I pointed to, I built the first IT department with my colleague there. So we were building and building for 8 years. Then a merger happened and they canceled the 8 years experience and moved things somewhere else.
How did it feel that time?
No, I felt very much disappointed. But when I moved to my other job and I created IT in Dubai airport from scratch also, and for 11 years. But in the middle, we had a change of management and we had outside management coming in and they start seeing things differently. And it was threatening to repeat the same experience. But I looked at it in a different way. First of all, I have to reach to inner peace. That inner peace can give you a better vision for life and seeing things in a different way. And this is where I realize I'm a mumu. Okay, so it is in everything for me. It's not like the first experience of disappointment. Here, I saw that what did you expect? You've been a mumu all your life, and that really a decision that happened, but maybe for the good, because from there I moved to Dubai Silicon Oasis, where I engage more with the entrepreneurs, with the startups, and everything. And from there, I have the vision of creating the whole ecosystem of technology in a full-fledged city. So where you engage the technology, the academia, and this community together. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm trying to build clusters of technologies like Industry 4.0, plus engaging academia with them, labs, student, faculties, everybody. From there, where the sparks will come of technologies, ideas, intellectual properties, and potential acquisitions, PPP, whatever. Now, the government role will be more or less for expediting regulation. So, if you are a government department focusing on transportation, you will be really having a living lab there for you to see what is the future of mobility. And then you can set up the new rules and regulation for that. And this is what I'm doing now as an employee or a MOMO. Okay.
Mashallah. I think the recipe here of the leaders, they're thinking is that they're living in present, but they're thinking about the future and
Well,
bringing that to life.
this is what we got from our future, from our leaders, really. Yeah, because we always doubted things in the beginning. When the palm came, when all these big projects, everybody was doubting this one. I didn't really. I always get inspired by His Highness
What was the
Sheikh Mohammed.
most difficult project of your life? You remember this was very difficult, but you pulled it off. कर लिया आपने.
You will be surprised. It has nothing to do with the technology.
Really?
Yeah, it has to do with my first event ever to do football match.
Okay.
Yeah, it was the longest football match where Maradona played for me also and the national team. That was the first event I do ever. And it
Okay.
was for 36 hours continuous football and 1,600 players. 86 teams played around the clock, and I had to be awake for 40 hours to keep it running.
Oh my God.
So for me, it was very much important to have all nationalities playing and to have Maradona play there also. Yes. And you can find it on YouTube. You just write Union Spirit match was done during the National Day. And that's where we start doing events after that. And then later on, I built my team and we start doing this. But in the beginning, there was no proper structure for an event, that big event. And subhanallah, with the blessing of Allah, everything went smooth. And we managed to start Friday, 9 o'clock morning, and we finish evening Saturday at 9 o'clock. So can you see this one? Just if you want to see the time lapse, check it out. If you said Union Spirit match, and you will see that one.
And then you must have slept well after
Yes,
that.
yes, yes, yes.
I
But
am
you
sure.
you 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 sleep with really a good experience,
Yes.
happy of achievement something, and that give you the next step. So
Yes,
immediately I'm thinking, what will be next year?
important.
So we started an event, and I had good team support, especially from Rehan
Yes.
and others also. So we managed to do next events and events after that.
Wow.
Yeah.
What are the key qualities you look for in the people when you hire them?
Well, transparency. I mean, I like people who are trustworthy more than really experts.
Yes.
So expert, I can use them once, as we say, but trustworthy, I can live with them forever, and I have them as more or beyond that work environment also. So
Because I got
yeah, because I never worked, let's say, with somebody here, and we've been always good friends, and we stay friends. And I have people who left me, and even they had the junior jobs. They still contact me. They still greet me, years and years after. So I look for that kind of really trustworthiness of people, and really willing to work. I have people here in this organization. I don't mandate them to stay, and I used to have that in also in Dubai airports. I never ask them to go beyond 2:30, but by themselves they will stay all whenever it's required all night. And I have them here also. We're not asking them to stay. We say, okay, if he will come to me and he said, okay, my job is from this to this, I respect him. I give him his right. Okay. Actually, I'm a family guy. I always push people out from their work environment because I want them to go back to their families and all this and come fresh. But sometimes they are really very much engaged into the job. Willingly, they will do it themselves. And that's what I like. This is what I always see in people.
Yes.
And they get rewarded for whatever they do.
When they are passionate
Yeah.
about it. आपकी उर्दू इतनी साफ है आप पाकिस्तान आए हैं
मैं पाकिस्तान नहीं गया, इंडिया नहीं गया, मगर सब इधर मिला।
तो आपको इतनी अच्छी उर्दू कहाँ से आई
दुबई में।
दुबई
इधर
में
हाँ
आपके दोस्त हैं colleagues?
दोस्त लेबर है, दूसरा फ्रेंड, आई मीन दोस्त नहीं है। कभी कुछ चीज़ मनता है, मार्केट जाएगा, उधर सब आदमी क्या इंग्लिश और उर्दू बात किया, ऐसा। So I have a story. When I was in high school, I bought my first SLR camera. And I bought it from Old Souk here. They sell in Al Fahidi here. And the guy spoke only two languages, Urdu or English. And he'd been living here for a long time, never learned Arabic. I went to America, came back. Every year I go to buy accessories from him. Same thing. The guy never changed. Okay. I graduated, then I came in the 90s. we had something called the Russian boom. Okay. The door opened for Russian to come to Dubai in the 90s. Okay. Okay, and you know, they come and they buy and all this. I went to the same shop. I see the guy speaks Russian. I say, अरे यार अभी तुम हिंदी नहीं मालूम उर्दू नहीं मालूम मगर रशियन बात किया. He said, I want to make business. For you, I don't need. But for those guys, I need to speak with them their language. So, ये मेरा गलती है. We did not allow them to speak our language and we learned their language. गलती नहीं है. It's good that we learned it because I speak also some dialect of Persian. So in Dubai, you learn certain things in a different way. Wow. So कितनी languages आती हैं? अरबी मालूम है for sure. उर्दू मालूम थोड़ा. Farsi or Persian, and there is a dialect of Persian here. Okay. I speak German, so I learned German. I understand French. So yeah, so and I like to break ice with people from different nationalities, knowing some words of them. So Indonesian, Malaysian, French, Italian, Spanish, like this. So I use these to break the ice only. But my German is better than my French. Acha. Yeah. So does it ever happen that you are talking to a German और आपको थोड़ी आती है आपने कुछ अल्फाज बोल दिए and they think oh he's fluent and they starts to talk to you. ऐसा हो गया कितना दफा हो गया. Sometime I will walk with them. Sometime I said sorry I don't practice it very well because I learned it in 87. So unless I go to Germany there and I really stay there for a period, then I pick it up again. But I lived in Switzerland in the French area. I learned the French from there, but it vanished. This is the only language that I could not capture very well. I understand, but it's really to speak it. Yes, it is also was hard. Difficult. Do you like to learn languages? Yes, yes. That's great. And art as well. You said you're an artist. I saw some paintings, beautiful. Well, I did my specialties in America when I did computer science as a major. I studied art as a minor also, and when we came here, we really noticed that both brains are used in that way. So I learned the right and the left brain together. Okay. So it's this is where it gives you more, and that way. And yeah, see, with my colleague, we took a neuro class for learning receptiveness. So, right. And that enabled us to understand more the brain and the learning of that, and how to understand people more. Yeah. So, and for me especially, I always challenge the education system that never changed for 200 years because it was made for factories and it was made for left brainers only. So that's why we tried to see what is the difference of this and what will happen. And we saw that by engaging the two hemisphere, you become genius. Yes. And that's how it will result. So this is what you need to develop: a good curriculum, a good methodology for engaging new generation into using two hemisphere instead of one, regardless what is your dominant one. Yes. But you always can enrich both. Exactly, and also if we do not be updated and adapt the change, then we will be outdated. Well, that's imminent. Now, how often you will be updated in things like, unless you do use it, right? Yes. Yeah. Now, for Hajj, okay, yes. You don't know the rules of Hajj. Yes. Unless you want to go for Hajj. Exactly. Okay, and after that, you do it once in your lifetime. Yes. And then what you do, if you're not going anymore, you don't need that information. Yeah. Unless you want to go again. True. So there is certain information you use it once in your lifetime or twice or whenever it's needed only, and the rest will go. Now with the new technology, how much you will reserve in your brain, how much you will put it in your backup brain, which is your AI engine or assistant and all this. So like you use the calculator in the past, you will be using AI to help you learn anything you want anytime. Right. So if I'm going to Pakistan, inshallah, would you like to come to Pakistan? I would like to come, and uh, I am into one big project, not yet announced, but okay. And I have to pass by Pakistan. And it's for a good cause to go there. Inshallah. Ghanim, so we have just talked about a lot of things. One important thing that I want to ask you is globally, people are working on women empowerment.
and we talk about it a lot of movements are going on. What initiatives UAE has taken in the past years to empower women?
Well, again, I always like to take you to the past because it's not something new. Uh, we are known for pearl diving, okay, in the Gulf, and all the men will be going in the boats for pearl diving.
Yes.
So who stays in the country?
Women.
Who run the whole country? Who raise the children? Who do you know? So it is always been dependent on women from the beginning, on my mother and my grandmother and all this. So it's nothing new. When his Rahmatullah alayhi Sheikh Zayed, he said, I want men and women to be aligned together. And it is which is better to really benefit from the full potential that we have here or import potential from outside. It's better at least to maximize the potential of the country. So he was behind really bringing in the education for women. He was behind, in the 70s, we were blessed with everything was free. Everything was given, education is free, medical is free. We used to get salary for education. We used to get food and all our even uniforms, everything was given for men and women also. So the leaders saw the whole country will not be built by money, it will be built by people. And the people was uni-gender, it was not really looked at only men. And we see this in our academia, and from there the result of that generated leaders in all areas, and where we ended up seeing that we have ministers, ladies, and they are really decision makers. We have entrepreneurs. We have also businesswomen handling a big chunk of the business in Dubai and UAE. So that kind of really foundation that was created by our leader gave the result as we see now. So the empowerment always celebrated every year. We celebrate the Women's Day, the International Women Day, and we have the Emirati Women Day also. So we don't celebrate, all together. No, we have special, and also to go back to the mother of the nation here, and the wife of our past ruler, Sheikh Zayed. She's behind the movement also, and she's still supporting uh, Sheikh Fatma's really leading and supporting and always been there as a progress for women here in the UAE. So having the leadership to support, having the ability to grow from bottom up for the women's here, because it was a taboo in the past. So, and we're saying recent, it's only the 60s, maybe 50s or 60s, women were not allowed to go to school even. Okay. So from the 60s, no, alhamdulillah. No, we don't have that challenge here.
No, yeah, not in UAE,
No,
but
no,
still in other countries, there are countries where women are still not allowed to work, to go out to get the education, which is basic requirement of any human being.
well, I will, let me contest this one now. The priority for me is building new generation.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
If I am, I mean, if I choose that I will work double job and leave my wife taking care of my kids, who will be the new leaders and new, let's say, generation, I will do the double job. Why? Because I cannot do that job. You know, this is the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, giving it to the moms. How to, you know, I can reflect this one into my past mom, rahmatullah alayha. She did not go to school. She took care of 10 kids. Okay. We are three boys, seven boys and three girls, grew up under her and my dad. And she took care of us because my dad used to travel a lot. He was a boat captain. So he was traveling to Pakistan, India, and Africa. So who took care of us? Our mom. And she will be pay attention to our school. She doesn't know how to read except Quran. Okay. And this is, I always like to close my statement with the most inspiration that I get is from my mom, rahmatullah alayha. She gave me the inspiration of what you see downstairs there as a game, as a painting, as all this, because as a mom and as an artist that she became, later on when a trauma happened to us and to her, where she lost ability to walk and talk, and she became an artist.
So you have got that artist thing from your mom.
We never knew. We never knew. I mean, I come from an artistic family.
Yeah.
My dad wrote poems, and she was painter. But she was a traditional one. Never went to school. But when she got that accident, and we took her for the art therapy in Germany for rehabilitation of the defected arm, she took the brush and started painting. And from there, for 14 years, she's been continuously painting and painting. And the amazing part that her signature was not her name or nickname, was Allah Kareem.
Mashallah.
And she said, if I want to learn to write, she could not talk, but she said, teach me how to write Allah Kareem. And we celebrated that signature and her painting in Expo Dome. When my brother was showing his art, he insisted to show her signature there, a big Allah Kareem. So her spirit always with us, his spirit always with us. And as a role model, to me, is my mom, as a special role model, because I take from her the inspiration. Some of it will be my games that I create, a circular carom, a circular billiard, football, everything. Because her painting, if I show you, is also circular.
Oh, the inspiration is coming from there.
Yes, and we were not aware of what she was painting, but the painting always brought people toward the center. And when I resemble this one, where is the place in the world that you bring everybody to the center?
I was asking Rehan the same thing. Why everything is like all of the innovations that they're there from you, it's circular. So now I get the idea. Okay, so bring
Yeah,
people
but her thought
yeah,
is very holistic and religious.
Kaaba.
Exactly.
Kaaba is in center and everyone is
And that's
around.
my slogan, together to the center.
Oh,
Okay, so I get it from her. Because of her paintings, I was really looking at it and I was seeing why she's putting all the path toward the center. Now, if we come together as human to the center, will we fight? Will we have war? Nobody can really distract us.
Yes.
No one single, outsider can try to move us. And this is what we see, together to the center. And when you see a Kaaba and you see the people around it, you don't see nations. You see one nation only.
Beautiful thought and so inspiring. It is literally is now one of the inspirations for me, that how beautiful she was thinking that, bringing people together, and the Kaaba is a perfect example of it.
Exactly. And in the beginning, she will always have a border, and then we'll have tracks toward the middle, and then we'll have palms, trees, and all this in painting. But she's always drew bird eye view. She was always like she's flying and seeing things from top. And this really, then we say, okay, what matters in life, really? We all know that we came for a purpose and we have to leave with that purpose. Okay? Did we achieve it or not? Hey, Pesa Faidani. Okay? You make towers, you make all this, you will leave it sooner or later. But what you will really leave as a really a thumbprint here, the legacy that you create. How much you will leave it, and people will still remember you. You know, endowment of Uthman bin Affan radiallahu anh is still running until now, since 14th century. Okay, if you go to Saudi and ask about the third ruler of this empire, Islamic empire, Uthman ibn Affan radiallahu anh, is still running as an endowment. So the endowment never disappear. The goods and all this will disappear. So think of what you are leaving as a legacy. That's the main thing. And die empty. This is my last message. Die empty mean achieve whatever come to you. That's a book name, by the way. You can look it up. So try to die empty. Whatever comes to you, make a mock-up of it. Make it as an MVP and see is it running or not. If it's not, maybe it's not now. Keep it aside. Come up with the next one and the next one, and you'll see one of them will click, the other one will follow, otherwise will come. But at the end of your life, you'll sit there and say, I'm finished. Okay? And that's why. So until that day, I'm always coming up with ideas or coming up with projects. I want to really achieve it for the purpose of mankind, and I want to leave a really a legacy for humanity and for Muslims, inshallah. And we see that we are the magnet of the universe.
Beautiful, beautiful conversation. And बिल्कुल ऐसा होगा because again as I said जब intention इंसान की अच्छी होती है नीयत नीयत अच्छी होती है तो
This is the main things of life, really, is having the. You see, they don't teach us purpose in schools,
yes
and nobody teach you purpose. Okay, whether it's a business purpose, work business, life business, nobody teach you this, and this is the challenge, and this is what we are trying to do here. You know, the team around me here, we are really talk about one thing: how to set the purpose right.
exactly
Yeah, and if we have that purpose, now we're talking about massive transformative purpose. It's bigger than vision, mission. You know, if a company tell you, I want to be the number one company in this or that,
yes
so what's in it for me?
true
But if they say, we want until all children get educated, it makes sense. I want to be part of that company.
yes
So
absolutely
that's a major or a massive purpose. Now, this is what we and my intention in this academy here is really to focus on the purpose
right
for really transforming people to better life and better people themselves, and how much they can come together.
जबरदस्त और यही बात है कि बहुत से लोग आते हैं एक रेस में चले जाते हैं लेकिन याद बहुत कम रह जाते हैं क्योंकि पर्पस के लिए उन्होंने काम किया
खाली एक पर्पस फोकस करो,
yes
मगर मासिव पर्पस इतना
बिल्कुल
या 1000 दिरहम इनफ नहीं है.
हाँ सही बात है थैंक यू सो मच फॉर
बहुत
मेकिंग
शुक्रिया.
टाइम बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया आपका थैंक यू एवरीवन फॉर वाचिंग द एपिसोड आई होप कि हमारी इस पॉडकास्ट से आपको कुछ ना कुछ लर्निंग इंशाल्लाह जरूर होगी एंड इट विल बी बेनिफिशियल फॉर यू आई विल कैच अप विद यू अगेन इन अनदर एपिसोड तब तक अपना बहुत ख्याल रखें एंड प्लीज पाकिस्तान को बहुत साफ रखें शुक्रिया अल्लाह हाफ़िज़
इंशाल्लाह. शुक्रिया.